English Phrases Part 1, by Sean Mayhew. Well, don't just do something, sit there, then with the wider picture you'll see clearly. They never met and remained as ships passing in the night. Time passes at a geological rate waiting for this to finish. The couple had a bull and cow this morning and aren't on great terms. They've been deceived, but this contradiction will straighten them out in a hurry. It might not be in a young person's social toolbox to deal with it. Every man and his dog in the place knows it's nonsense. The opposition group complains but is only a controlled steam valve and won't make real change. He doesn't say, but he's carrying a little torch for her. They wanted to keep quiet and let it die down, and instead she poured gasoline over it. I know there's more to cover, but one question before we turn the page. He's mad about it and has a face like a bulldog chewing a wasp. The political parties try to look like they're opposed, but it's just a Punch and Judy show. He got us through this and is the man of the hour. This claim might be thought to derive support from such facts, but it doesn't. It seems bribery is involved and she's on the take. The jokes are based on prejudice, they're low comedy. You'll miss out with a squeaky clean lifestyle. It was awkward and he was casting about for something to say. There are many dubious figures crowding forward for office. She tries to put down challenges to the boss's authority, she's a flank guard. I'm not up on this new development, I don't know much about it. You need ruthlessness and a chip of ice in your heart if you're going to survive. It's a crazy idea, you must have rocks in your head to try it. She has a checkered history of relationships, some good some not. The arguments are ongoing, but they're just wrong on this. His work's controversial, so he's a little to one side of the field. Aspects of the home culture chime with the socialist theory brought in. In darkest England people aren't so friendly. Don't make too much of it, it'll pass. My view is over there like Easter Island in the Pacific, entirely isolated. He's unsophisticated but strong, a rough diamond. We disagree, but let's not go round this bush any longer. This idea is lifted from preceding writers. It's fairly simple, taking it as a great artwork is pushing the boat out too far. The policy moves into gear with this latest decree. The new politician is even worse and we should revert to their predecessor, all is forgiven. He'll finally see this, it'll come home to him. She'd prefer not to go but is under a cloud of obligation. There are enough weirdo communists to fill a zoo. It defers the problem and only kicks the can further down the road before we catch up again. Ask everyone you can corner what they really think. In fact, these are separate ideas and need some daylight opening up between them. He paraded before them his assurances that all would be well. A mistrustful lowing could be heard before he spoke. It's debunked and is now another lie out of the door. Society stands on the shoulders of past thinkers. Once they find out what I really think, the relationship usually turns sour. The policy is a triple attack, a three-headed monster at the door. It's not explained and so people paint in whatever picture they feel should be there but then are disappointed. He could have provided a more conventional sequence of works, but it became the path not taken. It might be felt this argument must have inconsistencies, but it doesn't. It's a good idea, the first ray of light on the landscape for a while. There's no great puzzle over how to do this, you just need familiarity with it. When you have the basics to make your life go around, you can look for something more meaningful. You needn't be discouraged, don't fall at the first fence. They won't strike out with anything different, they'll keep to society's handrails. They've got frontmen to do that, you don't have a dog and bark yourself. Their secret deal has been inked already. The thought of these creeps being in power is enough to give you nightmares. They like the status quo and will try to stifle and pave over anyone calling for changes. You can't expect a young suitor to know enough to be your knight in shining armor. They're a bunch of half-wit thugs and knuckle-draggers. Let me step back a moment and explain the wider situation. There are further considerations, but it ticks a big box. They're providing the expected delays, putting us in a holding pattern until they make a decision. These ramifications turned the light on for me. The coarse grain explanation is human error, but the fine grain is bad management and overworked staff. It's good but only done to bring us onside, it's a sweetener. Fortunately, the wrong-headed policies seem to be on the downslope of their arc. She's the highest-ranked figure, the biggest fish in the pond. Bracket off those issues for now and come back to them as needed later. We've been landed with a problem here. You've turned over 2 pages at once there, a few steps are missing. He stopped machinating against us, the heat of the kitchen was too much. The blue flame of resentment burns fiercely when the truth on this is spoken. Hold your horses, we don't have to respond yet. Nobody's going to break ranks and change their allegiance. He tried talking casually, but she was onto his real motives. The organization has a few issues and struggles to keep all the balls in the air. He's a criminal but walking around free as a bird. I'd like to put it right, but that ship sailed a long time ago. You don't get off the low ground by fighting on it, try to look beyond. Try to narrow down the possibilities and get them off the table. Having praised honesty, a recommendation for lies will take some finessing. Be careful, those looking to bring you down are at the gate. It's a moronic show with Z-list celebrities. Their opponents are spreading misinformation and trying to cause engine trouble. He's very much of the mind that you should stop seeing her. He doesn't respond properly, I'm not sure he's all there. It's a club for financially achieved people. The thought of me saying something they don't know keeps them up at night. It's a highly specific and tightly coiled argument. They're looking for some fault to hang on him to undermine his standing. The central part of the film is dull, there's some signal loss. There's illicit activity on different levels, but the head of the snake is the upper management. The security won't say much, they're a bunch of grunts. The work is a mashup of influences, it doesn't cohere well. Those are okay, but these with chocolate on, now you're talking. Those skills provide a badge of honor. Let's hope that's the top of this roller coaster ride of craziness. It was never put into use and is only gathering dust. Well, it's controversial, let's shuttle past that topic for now. The world's moving on and you have to make a choice, the boat's leaving. The conversation felt wrong, something was off. An impressive analysis, but I must part company with the conclusions. I got out before the disaster, I dodged a bullet there. His objectionable views become evident, we see him and what he stands for. They were always going to be deceptive, you could see it a mile away. Everything downstream of this event was affected by it. They're part of the furniture, they just want to fit in and won't take a stand. I did some crazy stuff, I was as mad as a box of frogs. Once the basic assumptions are disproved, it'll be on the floor in pieces. Euphemistically, they're semi-legal foreign workers. Conclusions need rigorous deduction, nothing freestyle. For now you'll have to stay in your lane even if you disagree with the managers. Be careful or it'll arrive with force and won't knock first. He's changed his allegiance and wants to play on their side of the street now. Don't fret too much, life is 10-dimensional chess that only the gods fully understand. He was a leading figure for a while but fell out of favor and got thrown out the bus. A poor decision began this problem, but that wasn't the end of the matter. He's the torchbearer for this view, always a strong advocate. I come from no particular political corner. If you try to accommodate everyone, your tent will get so big it becomes a circus tent. The two theories explain different things and don't clash, they march side by side. He's a successful new director, he's making a splash. The new government has nothing to offer, its false dawn is exposed. His trade skills are becoming defunct, putting him at sea. It's a grab bag of the propaganda strategies they could find. The discussion takes an inward turn, looking at subjective difference. Your point is well taken, I accept the basic objection. It's a new process, but you'll find it's not difficult and don't need your hand-holding. Stand your ground with this, you're in the right. They disliked his views to begin with, but his actions without asking really cooked their noodle. They'll hyperventilate with false accusations and bluster. There's been a Get Sean campaign to bring him down. In the process, number of elephant-sized mistakes were made. My submission here is only that it won't work in the present case. I have a grab bag of key points noted down to summarize the analysis. They're afraid and disparage it at every turn. The instruction doesn't make sense, it's as clear as mud. He's joined them on the trampoline, uncritically clamoring for this. She's not just a socialist but a gold card carrying Marxist. Sing the tune they want you to sing and you'll be fine, they're not looking for fresh ideas. Under interrogation and threat of prison he'll sing like a canary. You can go halfway up a mountain to pursue your own ideas, but the system wants conformist thinkers. Be ruthless with the opposition, don't let them wriggle out, and take no prisoners. They got broadsided with criticism. The staff are worried about their jobs up and down the line. It's an unexpected find, I tripped over it while researching another area. The offer has many disadvantages and I wouldn't sign up for it. That was a speech and a half, inspiring to hear. The writing gets over-enthusiastic and unconsidered at times, there are a few hot flushes. It's very simple and easygoing, lighter than air. They shouldn't be doing any such thing, don't sit still for it. She trashed his arguments. It could have easily gone the other way, it was a close call. Some drivers are on a sleep deprivation bender and unsafe. That'll smooth the process out, it's just the thing. They're really useful, so even if you're not eligible by hook or by crook, get one. I came by this idea while talking with her on other matters. They're conformists and won't take to you for rocking the boat. He's assuredly the better performer for this. The pianist dematerializes the score, finding meaning beyond all outward sound. It's a top-range, Rolls-Royce model. Confirm every step of the way, there are no charges. Enough observation for now, back to the wigwam to consider this. Socializing hardly exists here, it's a post-apocalyptic landscape. Her writing indicates a diamond-sharp intellect. The house method is to fill in and submit this form a week before. There are some problems as yet unresolved, you have to roll with it. The system's failing, coming unstuck. It comes to my mind that related examples are in some famous films. Her analysis is thorough, it's got the goods. Be patient, friendly, and let relationships grow under your feet. Some lesser-known names round out the cast. My list of enemies is filing cabinets long. You have to come to lunch, we have your promissory note. Most have accepted what they were told and are spiritless boat stabilizers, not boat rockers. I'm a musician, but with my astronomy hat on I can discuss telescopes. Be an individual, fly your own banner. It was a side issue, but now it's front and center. This thinking is too close to the problem, we need to step back for the wider view. It's a many-pronged critique. Anyone will look at such confused efforts and wonder who this joker is. They're bashing the state of society in general. He has marriage problems and isn't so forthcoming, he's not in a good place. Art music listeners are thinly spread. After giving a speech a few times you get to know the corners and how to turn them. Usually keep your dealings honest and above board. It was a hard-won achievement. His opponent's reputation unstrung him and he lost confidence. The new model a high-gloss product. They've been found out, and to shift the blame they could be singing about our involvement. It was a dubious lifestyle of loose morals. That's overstating the case a little, it's not that significant. Good ones are few and far between. I had enough of what they were trying to do and got off the boat, not that I was really ever on it. The whole theory turns on a single assumption. It's a new thought but sits easily with traditional ideas. If he had to face that his life would just end. I'd prefer that option any day. His late work is complex and densely argued. The symphony has some ear-bending harmonies. They watched with folded arms, disgruntled but doing nothing. I'm on kitchen detail duty. They'll do anything to please the boss, they're crawling sycophants. You can get girls from there, not that I'm suggesting that you understand. She's a more straight-laced girl, so it seems. I haven't read any of his work, but I have trodden in some. They stormed off after each making strong points, they went down with both ships blazing. She has a developed relationship with me, I'm looking after her. It's a gathering of the rich gin and Jaguar brigade. He got into trouble in the past, but his wife keeps him on the straight and narrow. It can be seen without much difficulty as a reworking of his mentor's ideas. My problems with her were several. These offerings are sugar lumps while the unpopular changes go ahead. Go more cautiously on the spending front. These are just sniper attacks and won't detract from the basic argument. The book is a shout for collective values. He's a writer on this development who came late to the table. They were mad to begin with but went ballistic at that. Ours is a world conditioned by rivalry and fear. It would be going way off script for politicians to speak the truth here. It gets my vote for the most chaotic stretch of road. Hold on, that has further implication, I'm getting my second wind. The young man and woman talked as a heat haze built between them. These works are his brilliant noonday of achievement. Visiting such places opens your eyes to wider considerations. There's a thicket of arguments for either view. The work has a few good ideas but along with plenty of padding. It's an elite cafe where moneyed classes fraternize. It has no substance, it's candyfloss. The working conditions were getting worse and eventually I had to walk. Don't drawl on haughtily. Despite the ambiguity, you got it right first time, a good call. They run hatless into the street on seeing me. Such poetry, those are quite some obscenities. What's visibly going on here is where the world is really at. You needn't let yourself be done to by those in authority. The long-term goal of all this is one of the biggest puzzle pieces. The opening act of the play came off best. They are well-credentialed people and can be listened to carefully. I guess you're right and the objection doesn't follow, okay, as you were. There are too many problems, I'm done through with the place and I'm leaving. No, it won't improve from here, this is as good as it gets. It's good quality and can hold its own against the competition. He's on leave and is now sunning it in Spain. Cough, splutter, some might see that as contradictory. It's of some interest but overshadowed by later achievements. Strong lager is battery acid, a paint stripper, drain cleaner, a rocket fuel. It's top of the range, an all singing all dancing model. My insights are matchless, I'm a towering genius. He's a gladiator for the truth, taking on anyone regardless. It's a blizzard of statistics to prove the case. He didn't make the meeting only because he finished work late and nothing more dramatic. By reason of his lifestyle he must be rich. The music is derivative, only Mozart and water. He holds it that economic policies are causing social discontent. I tunneled my way out of education institutions into real life. If you can think that key presupposition, people will change sides. There's a good deal of hackwork involved. Be careful with any holier-than-thou attitude, there's often pride before a fall. It may be as clear as daylight to you, but many still won't see it. They have unshakable faith in the company's performance next year. It's untouchably beautiful. The question divides people and there's no concerted opinion. Don't pay in advance, it's something never to be approved. She was being insulted to her face. He left one career options for another which didn't materialize, leaving him in no man's land. There are plenty of unthinking crazies ready to try it. She countered each of his objections, she wrapped him up. To progress upwards here, avoid much critique and show your singing from the song sheet. It's in some measure an opposite view. Their claims are closely matched, but my casting vote goes to the earlier version. Careful not to become another malcontent, always complaining. It's kept its fascination and I've always got time for it. Her output includes widely contrasting works. There'll be bumps in the road, but you'll get there. It's carefully considered and a finely chiseled work. We can wind the meeting up and finish. I should have a better answer, it's a fair question, a point. They both have blackmail files on them to sing from the same songbook on this. I'm only an armchair enthusiast. That's rather passionless, what a poor wingless creature you must be. I thought of something to say and waltzed over to her. He broke off in mid-sentence on seeing her. To some it looked like a major job, but they finished quickly and thought nothing of it. There are diminishing returns as you move out from the major areas to explore. Have opinions and express them, don't be a nobody. His critical presentation didn't rock the boat, it put gunpowder barrels under it. It's a reach to see its relevance here. They do best keeping to a standard nuts and bolts service. The unfolding events admit of several explanations. Ever the optimist, I still have hopes for it despite the problems. Things seem black now, but nothing's forever. Without good decisions you'll be a cautionary tale rather than a success story. Of course we can't have an atmosphere between us, strictly business. You don't have to read it complete, just have a punt through. He betrayed some nervousness in his speech. Don't be boringly well adjusted, society itself is maladjusted. In time the policies increasingly took on a right-wing coloration. She has great spirit and buzzes me up. This section makes glancing reference to other works. She's energetic and seemingly always on the top of a bounce. He's strong-minded, as tough as old boots. He was inclined to sponging a leeching from others between jobs. She's gentle and mild-mannered. Everyone's married, I'm being left on the shelf here. The meeting was the oral equivalent of eating cardboard. Whoever's handiest with a keyboard can type it up. Make it entirely clear when you speak to them, give them chapter and verse. The performance is given with great relish and intensity. I wouldn't pursue it any further, abandon ship. That's the flagship argument and is the one to go after and sink. Be careful, there are crazies the world over. With IQs barely out of single figures you can't expect to reason with them. It's a high-water mark of romanticism. They think they are put upon by having to do some work. An excessive invective like that may mean he has his own agenda. They'll be up for another round of debauchery. She has great expertise and a God-given talent for it. The work's inspiration doesn't sustain its length, it needs more concision. Take heart, tomorrow's another day. There'll be squeals of delight from the other side if you fail. It's beyond all expectations, I'm flawed. I try to avoid confrontation and keep things at arm's length. It's gains in some areas and loses in others, it's swings and roundabouts. It was fine, it went swimmingly. They're looking for someone to promote and I'll put in a good word for you. Package tours are stage-managed shows, lacking genuine interaction. This is a busy chart with a lot to take in. These are broad-brushed solutions, specific problems can be considered later. His work is eclectic and unambitious, his and also ran. The market is slow at present, companies are having to tough it out. They're not going to stand up for anything, they're wafer-thin nobodies. Hats off to them for all the work. The workplace here will greatly darken if you leave. He's been working long hours and is planning some downtime. If it doesn't work the whole project will be out the window. It's a good all-rounder response to this kind of problem. Armed conflict is the motor of the refugee problem. The latent problems seem to unravel simultaneously, creating a train wreck. Don't trust them, they're beady-eyed snakes. Don't worry if the band's playing in the other room right now, stay focused. I'm a different personality but I can meet them halfway. Only uncritical sheep'll look at the mass media. It's a complex discussion and hard to track. He's one of the organization's gatekeepers, seeming to stand for higher critical values while keeping them out. Be pleasant, we need to keep the wheels greased-oiled with this. It's densely written and isn't bedtime reading. It's complex but I can outline it without getting too deep in the reads. She has alacrity, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. The less confident quickly switch on to a critical thinker and keep back. She seems to like you, you should feed the fire. It might sound fine in the town square, but it's impractical in detail. It has to be done, there's no talking round it. You can listen to what others say without wearing the t-shirt. While this government is on the go, the problems will remain. The book is arguably the crest of his work. You're important guests, you'll get the red carpet treatment. The champagne set aren't the most confident and won't inspire. He's working late, graveyard shift. I'm only an underling here, you should talk to the boss. Those ideas are in the attic for now but may be brought into play again. When pressed, he gave further details. There are prior accusations of favoritism and bribery, he's too smelly to be appointed. His skirt chasing with no thought of commitment. The management are encouraging him to finish by ignoring his complaints and leaving him out to dry. Quitting alcohol was a monkey off his back. There is little they can say in defense and have to take it on the chin. They're puppet leaders, controlled by puppeteers. The computer's down, it's out of business. They've been talking a long while, the flames are getting higher. Once opinion reaches a critical mass, the policy will have to change. It was built when the civilization was in full sway. You have spirit and insight and keep a high place on my list of contacts. It was a wildly ill-judged remark. With nimble practices they are gaining success in the market, they have the inside track. They are hawkish and warlike, they're bullet heads. That course of action has been discredited and is off the table. Most news media provide misrepresentation and fakery. These ideas look challenging yet fit in without a ripple in this more universal outlook. The rules need tilting back to allow more freedom. She's getting run down with the ongoing workload and needs a break. The film has poor production values and is instantly forgettable. He's still a largely unrecognized artist but will have his day eventually. Take off the goggles of resentment and be more positive. They're too sheep-like to say anything or raise their heads over the parapet. He won on this occasion and will shout it from the rooftops. More staff are falling from the wagon and moving on to other things. Try to provide a memorable but genial parting remark. He has different arguments to other socialists but comes back to the same refrain about equality. It needs doing, I'm being straight down the middle with this. They want to join the in crowd, I'll stay with the out crowd. She's leading the charge for changes in the system. He had an abrupt Damascus Road reversal of convictions. If you say one thing but do the other, they'll never let you live it down. His clothes and hair cultivate a rock star persona. Just keep to the facts, avoid emotive persuasion and italicizing. The endeavor is worth every effort, bring all you can bear to it. She's rather world-weary after losing her marriage. As evidence for the theory, this is Exhibit A and should be decisive. It's a beguiling culture here, I'm sold. It's nonsense, I've been watching with shaking head. The policies were downgraded following their negative outcomes. Failures are always fine, dust yourself down and begin again. Instead of truthfulness, there is the party line of self-conscious reiteration and double plus good duck speak. The other workers arriving helped greatly and saved the day. She keeps to traditional styles, almost a character stepping out of the pages of a historical novel. The deregulation brought a high tide of unscrupulous profit-making. Don't let the meeting drift into complaints, keep it on point. She has a regular position but the managers listen to her, the tail's wagging the dog. You need to be loud about it as there isn't the awareness of the problems it causes. Show backbone where necessary, don't be an invertebrate. He likes unusual views, he's a controversialist. Trying to argue without hard evidence won't work, you're spinning wheels. It's an unholy muddle that needs clearing aside. It's to their detriment but they'll still side with the official view, they're turkeys voting for Christmas. These methods don't work and need rolling back. They prepared an energized interpretation, uncorked on this recording. Find something that lights your fire, follow your own interests. There's nothing to get through to with these people, they're concrete from the neck up. The melodic themes aren't of prime Strauss cut. Well, if you really fall for such craziness, there's nothing I can do for you. These developments aren't random, there are hidden game masters. They seem to argue plenty, it's no fairy tale romance. With these more experienced guys on deck it'll be finished much faster. They look down on and dump dirt on us from a great height. They seem unhinged but we should check the environment they're in before making judgments. The warmongers are huffing and puffing for an excuse to attack. It's a simplistically upbeat magazine, just confectionery. The young can seem rebellious but most are just on a long leash and quietly don't question authority. Critical thought here is fine but rein in the wilder ideas. The book is another stew of his related ideas. Okay, you make good points, I'm hearing you but still disagree. He knows it's true but tiptoes around the subject. Thinking is often mistaken but it's more about expanding views not junking them. You wonder how he had the face to write such derivative stuff. The books are selling like hotcakes. The arguments look balanced but in fact have different weightings. His efforts are meek and bloodless and aren't likely to succeed. There's some independent thought but the spirit of his predecessor hovers over his work. Some clever dialogue makes up for the action scene's excesses. Desolation has the last word in these expressionist works. You can show that it's doubtful but their aversion to having been wrong will jump in with both feet. Always stay with cool reasoning, a delirious rant won't be taken seriously. The performers don't come as close to the work as some. The work has wide-eyed intensity and makes a strong impression. She has the mental resolution to sort through and make sense of this. This is another turn of phrase. The lumpen academia selects for establishment conformity, not critical thinking beyond it. Nationalists will pull up the drawbridge and stop immigration. There is a problem but it's not with this, you're barking up the wrong tree. It's just sparring and one-upmanship. You'll think I've gone over the edge with that idea but it's true. Her performance has great focus and blinkered intensity. He had a fallow few months following these major works as he considered what else to say. It seems he hasn't been on the level with us. She wasn't impressed and looked at him granite-faced.